if you look at our executive branch, I'm going to talk about power in our country and who holds power and the disenfranchisement of women and other historically underrepresented groups from that. Look at our presidents. We have never had a woman president. That is striking for so many other developed countries. We have only had one vice president who is a woman, one president of color, and one vice president of color. The first woman vice president and the first person of color vice president is the same person, Kamala Harris, and we had President Barack Obama. That is it in terms of the diversity of our presidents. So no female ever head of state and only one vice president. If we were at equality, we would be looking at a country that has about half women, half men heads of state. We're nowhere near that. Nowhere, we're miles and miles from that. If we look at our statewide executive positions, women hold about 30% of those positions. So we're a little over 50% of the population of the country, and yet we're only 30%, so that's 50%, we're only 30% of the executive positions in state governments. So very far away from equality. In the legislative positions, same thing, about 30% are held by women of those positions. And this graphic, I think, is so striking. There's a couple graphics I want to tell you, a couple slides that to me stand out so much. This is one of them. Because if you notice, we see across our Congress, the United States Congress, that men represent 72% of our Congress, 72% of our Congress is white, and 72% of our Congress is Christian Protestant. So what does that mean? Well, women should be half the Congress because we're half the population, which may be even a little bit over that, since we're a little over 50%. So instead of at 50%, we have about half of that, 27.8% women in Congress. People of color represent about 40% of the population, but they're only about 28% of the people in Congress. Very, very poor representation of women and people of color. And as you see, the minority religious groups all combined only represent 28% of our legislators. So very, very, very poor representation. And these are the people who are supposed to represent us. They don't look like us.